While SmartWork allows you to easily add additional questions to pre-existing homework assignments, it's also easy to edit those questions and also create questions from scratch. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how. Let's start with some basics. To add questions to SmartWork, you're simply going to click on the Add Remove buttons. You can also filter for specific question criteria by clicking on the Filter Questions button. To create a new question, you're going to click on the Create New Question button, and you're going to be able to find that underneath the question library here. Finally, you can copy and then edit pre-existing questions, and we're going to look at how to do that in just a moment. And finally, once you've created your assignment, you click on the Preview SmartWork Test button, and you can actually work your assignment as a student would. So let's start by adding a few questions to a pre-made assignment. I'm going to click on Practice 2, and as you can see in this right-hand box, this is my pre-made assignment with the questions that are in there. And then on the left-hand side, I have my series of questions that I can choose from in the question library. If I scroll over the icons that you see here, it tells me a little bit about the type of questions that it is, and then I select on a question and I hit the Add button, and that's going to add it into my assignment. I can now move it using this button anywhere in the assignment I'd like it to go. By clicking on a question and scrolling down, I can see the question and actually work it in its entirety from beginning to end. At some point you may feel that you need to add a completely new question in SmartWork, and you can do that by clicking the Create New Question button as you see here. When you do that, you're going to open the Question Maker pane, and you can see you have a number of options to choose from here. We're going to see this in a moment when we edit a pre-existing question, but just know that you can create a brand new question using this utility at any point. Just as you can create a new question from scratch, you can also edit pre-existing questions. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose a question, and then I'm going to click Copy. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making our edits to a copy of a pre-existing question. So you don't have to worry about damaging one of the default questions in SmartWork. Now that we've made a copy, we're going to click Edit, and that's going to open up the question editor. Now that we've launched the question editor, we can start making changes to the question itself. And I'm going to do that by clicking on the tabs on the topmost part of the screen. I click on the tab, and then I can actually click on anywhere in the question itself to make my change. So if I want to change the correct answer, if I want to change the language of a question, how it's phrased, if I want to change the incorrect response or the feedback that students see, I can do that. Everything that you see in this pane is completely editable. If you'd like to learn more about how to use some of the advanced functionality of the question editor, you can click on the question mark icon at the uppermost right-hand portion of the question editor, and that will launch a instructor manual that will take you through the basics as well as the advanced functionality. Now that you've fully customized your assignment, you can launch it and work through it just as a student would. So I'm going to click on Preview SmartWork Test, and once I do that, it's going to launch the assignment. Now I can see it as a student would, and I can work through each question.